Today on Zach's Workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a new GoPro mount system for me. Now, for the last 2 years, I've actually used a Garmin Verb action camera. And how it mounts is a lot different than a GoPro. And in the fact that you screw it on and you tighten it down so that any side impacts or front impacts, it doesn't really matter because it's screwed right in there. And it's got all these little locking rings that I actually really like. So I'm going to keep using my Garmin, but my wife Cassandra got me a GoPro Hero 5 Black Edition. Now, I used it a couple times this year, and twice it broke off its mount. Now, it wasn't none of the fact of the mounting, how it mounts to the actual camera with those 3 little fingers that GoPro provides their cameras with. See those 3 little fingers? That's how the camera mounts. What it is actually due to is how the GoPro mounts into its mounting surfaces. So as you can see, this is how I mount my GoPro. I have a GoPro sticky mount mounted to a steel piece that I screw to the roof on the inside. And how it mounts is it just slides in like so. Just like that. So it is a quick release thing for your GoPros. But when I've been being hit diagonally in the rear quarter panels, it has actually been breaking off of the mount, and it has been flying around inside my car, and I hate it. I hate having my $500 GoPro fly around inside my demolition derby car. Now, I've tried a couple things to combat this. I stopped buying Amazon quick releases. I started buying GoPro only, still happening. So then, I found this company on Amazon that sells this aluminum mounting surface. So it mounts just like all the other ones with the quick release. It's just a little tighter. And I thought that would fix all my problems. But, again, I ripped the GoPro out of this mount. So, what I want to do today is I want to build a custom mount that helps me hold my GoPro to the ceiling. Now, I have this steel right here that I've actually got, and it is just cut off from a job site, and it is almost the perfect width to fit in between the mounting surfaces for where your GoPro fits. So I'm thinking I can turn this into some kind of a GoPro mount that works. And I don't know, I think that it's going to go pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these into 1-inch strips. And then those 1-inch strips I will take and I will grind them so they look like a finger at the end of it, basically. So that way it's got some clearances for the GoPro to move on the angles. And then I'll drill a hole and I'll mount the GoPro the exact same way this is set up, where it's got the 3 tabs and the bolt that goes through. And by doing that, I can still use all the factory hardware and basically screw it all together. I have a forehead mount, and this forehead mount I've never used and I probably will never use. Doesn't that look weird? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this forehead mount apart to get the nut out of it to use to weld my homemade GoPro mounts together. And just quickly just grind it out and take the nut, and then I'll throw it away because it's garbage. And then once it's all done, I will bolt the GoPro mount together, and then yeah, we'll have a homemade GoPro mount. So let's get going at it, guys. So with a little bit of work, we built this. Now, this right here is a very nice mount that I think. It's very simple, it works, there's not a lot to it. Now, it's still really hot. One of the downsides is that I'm not able to twist this inside the car. So this is a very simple mount. This took me maybe 20-25 minutes to make. And what we'll do now is we'll just place it on top of the car, we'll drill our holes, and then switch it to the inside of the car, because I do prefer the inside of the car rather than outside the car. If I had one of those 360 cameras, maybe it'd be better on the outside, so that way you can see all the way around the car through the editing. But this, I think that works great. So now inside the car, if we get hit really hard on the side, like somebody comes up and hits me on the driver's side or the passenger side, it's not going to break off like how it was on the other ones. Like I said, this is very simple. I painted it red, so that way I will always be able to find it inside my workshop, because dark painted things I just put down and lose. But that's my homemade GoPro mount. This is not the only way you can make these. And like I said, I've tried a couple different things. This used to work for me with my Garmin, but because of the mounting, how that mounts with the GoPro, it just hasn't really been working for me this year. I even tried upgrading to the aluminum one like I showed you earlier, but it just ain't doing the job for me. So thanks for watching, guys. And how do you guys mount your GoPros? I know that other people mount them on the front of their windshields facing forward. I know other guys that have these big brackets that come down and mount their GoPro on the inside, but all of them I keep seeing basically use this same principle where you just slide and click the GoPro in, and it just wasn't working for me. So no matter how big and how extensive a mount I use that it still uses the click and slide, then it doesn't really work for me. But with this right here, I have a full steel construction. It might jitter and shake a little bit. I might put a little bit of foam on the backside when I attach it, just to reduce the jiggling and the sound of the cars going around. But that works for me. Take care, guys, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.